Hey everyone. So hold on. Why my camera looking funny? That look worse. So I was gonna talk about pain. There we go. Pain and trauma and pain. I feel like a lot of people don't understand the difference. If you hear that noise, I have my fan on. Trauma and pain. First and foremost, let me say this. I know my energy is high probably to y'all, but it's low to me. Okay? And it's because I'm going through a lot of different spiritual things at one time. My energy levels going up, so each day I'm elevating. So I know it's been a lot, and there's a lot going on, and I hope at least majority of y'all understand everything I'm saying. I know it might be some little bits and pieces here and there that might not be as clear as I would wanted the conversations to be. However, I hope you understand. I know with my descriptions there's like a lot of stuff in there, but I feel like that's great for the ones that like to read things and do their own little research. Okay, it gives you a little scavenger hunt that lets you find different things and stuff. It kind of just open your mind the right way. Yeah, so it's just a lot of emotions right now. I'm gonna just say it like this. For me, it's a lot of emotions because I'm still surrounded by toxic people. I'm still surrounded by people that want me out or whatnot. And as much as I ignore it, I still see it. No different than the day when I was not driving. Well, I'm put that in mind. Thank you, God. But no, when I was walking, people like literally driving, and I'm watching them, and they trying to swerve in front of me to hit me, and it's crazy. But because of the angels and everything, they can't touch me. But there was like, I say about 3 or 4 people. I think about 2 or 3 people that when they was driving, when they got in front of me, they literally did like that. They tried to swerve to hit me, and the spirit pushed them back. This other vehicle, which y'all might saw on the other video, I had a right of way, but the folks was trying to hit me. So like rushing, and lady like had an attitude about it, like if I did them wrong, but I had the right of way. So the street was like a one-way street. Even though I walk in on the side, there was a truck that went down the street the wrong way, and they looking at me, but the truck was the one that went the wrong way. So I'm not afraid. That's not the problem. It's just niggas and these white folks, and with some black folks too. I know y'all get tired of me calling it, but I could do the B word, so I feel like the N word a little bit lighter. But it's just a lot of emotions. So, and I'm doing the best I can by expressing my emotions. So I know sometimes it kind of could be triggering to see me cry for like 2.5 seconds, and then I'd be like this, and you like, was it real? Is she acting? Is she playing? Is this a manipulation? Is she playing mind games with us? Like, nah, I just jump in. I allow myself to have those emotions, and then I jump back out of it, because I'm like this. I control the emotions. The emotions don't control me. I control those feelings. Those feelings don't control me. I control my pain. My pain don't control me. You understand? It's like I wear my clothes, but my clothes don't wear me. You understand? It's like that. So I allow y'all to see it. However, I know it can be confusing, because in the world they teach you're supposed to stay in that pain. In the world, they teach you that you're supposed to hold on to pain, because if you don't hold on to pain, then it wasn't real. That's what we are taught. That's what they have taught us. And then you do have people that are like me, they can jump in and out, but they are faking. So you got to know who's real and who's fake, because in the world, when people see someone get attention off of something, they'll do the same thing to get attention. It's no different than a person will self-sabotage themselves, like self-poison themselves, just so they can go to a hospital so that somebody can check them out, just to feel wanted. People do a lot of crazy stuff. Sometimes people can pretend somebody beat them up, knowing nobody touched them, just to get people to get attention. And it's sad. It's more stuff like that than you really think. A lot of people fake pain because they don't have the love that they need, so it's a way to buy love. It's like a sympathy card. No different when you go to a store for the holidays or birthdays and you pick up a card and you give it to someone, just show your sympathy or understanding. It's a sympathy card. A lot of people use it. It's no different than sometimes there are people that do fake suicide, fake molestation, fake rapes, fake cheating, telling people somebody cheated on them when they didn't, fake accusations, saying that a person done something to them when they didn't. It's more of that than you really think, because they don't know how to, they don't know how to use their real emotions, so they have to fake a scenario to help bring out that emotion. It ain't even the fact what they lied about is what caused the issue. It's the fact that after they lied, now it finally hit them, like I'm screwing somebody's life up. That's when it hits them, the afterthought. No different than these people that's doing stuff to me. They put all this hate and energy onto me. However, they didn't have any emotions. They didn't care. But then the fact of getting caught, or the possibility to getting caught, okay, y'all gonna get caught, but it's just the fear of getting caught is where the pain comes in. Now they feeling the issues and feeling this pain and regret, like, why did I do that? Because they couldn't feel nothing before. Because why do people cheat? Why do people steal? Why do people kill? Because they don't have any emotions, and so they have to do something to trigger those emotions. So no different than a person was trying to trigger me to get me mad. They was trying to get triggered to feel sad, feel something within them. In one sense it may look like fame and fortune, but deep down it was like, I don't have a heart. It's gone. Something corrupt me to lose it. I gave up on it. I gave up on God. I gave up on myself. So I need something to pinch me, to let me know I'm still real. Until that thing pinches me, I'm going to continue doing these things because I don't feel nothing. And if I don't feel nothing, I'm going to continue doing it. But until something can trigger me, I'm going to keep doing these things. Why do people continue, serial kill, like keep cheating? Why do people continue to steal? All of this stuff. Think about like a person that robbed a place, right? Or you see the gang people that go and shoot up people and stuff, right? But then as soon as they got about to get locked up, they start to cry. Well, it was fun when you was about to shoot, when you attempted murder or murder. It was fun when you was robbing those banks and you was getting away with it. You understand? Or robbing people and getting away with it. But once you finally about to get caught, now you have emotion. Now you crying because it's like, why did I do that? Why did that happen? You understand? Sometimes you blame someone else. Oh, it was because of this. It was because of that. But the true identity is you lost your heart somewhere along the way, and you was trying to find it through whatever you had to find it through. It's no different in sex. Some people lose their heart and they go out here and have sex with so many different people. They try different things. They do a lot of different things because they can't feel love, and they keep trying to find something to make them feel love until something actually finally breaks their heart. And a lot of times it's one of the things of someone actually catching you, or someone denying you, or someone saying they don't want to be bothered with you, or someone catching you in the act. It's like the aha moments. It's a opposite trigger. So what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to like pain, okay, and trauma. There's two different forms. I got y'all like on this little big bubble foot thing, so if you're leaning, it is what it is. So trauma is something where something happened to you and you don't understand the connection. So it could be somebody that you cared about doing something to you, or somebody random. So let's say I know y'all don't like talking about it, but I'm gonna talk about it. Like if somebody rapes you, right? Trauma. It's a trauma bond. Trauma situation, because you're trying to figure out what did I do? What happened for this to happen, or why? You don't have the connection between the dots. You don't understand why this. Okay, like a family member can do it. Why would they pick me? They could have picked somebody else. Like it could be like a friend. We could talk. Why they didn't talk to me? Why would they do something like that? It could be somebody random. Why me out of all these people? So that's why it's trauma, because you stuck. It ain't even so much of the deed of the interaction. The interaction is what gives you the reason for the trauma. It's not so much like you was in pain or something like that. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people can get abused in these moments, but you got to remember, your body heals. Okay, so though not all the time, but for the most part, your body end up healing. Okay, some situation you don't have physical wounds where you can see, but the thing about it is, it's just a disconnect of wondering why. The why is what it is. The why is why the reason why you stuck. And a lot of y'all have been stuck for a long time. So rape is one. Abandonment, being left behind by a parent or someone, abuse you. A parent abuse you. Well, that ain't abandonment. So abandonment is basically when like a parent walk away and don't want to be in your life anymore, or you go up for adoption, or a parent passes away. Abandonment. Now when it passes away, you can't, that's just a natural thing. However, it's still in your head, abandonment. So in your head, you're getting that feel of why they didn't want me, or why this had to happen to me. You get stuck. You don't focus on your current situation. You don't focus on the possibilities of something better. You're still stuck on why that had to happen to me. You understand? There's no physical scars, but it's just it's the fact that there's no door that can be closed. And see, that's where a lot of trauma is stuck at, because somebody is waiting for that door to close. And some of y'all don't have the people where y'all can go back in contact and say, hey, why you do this or why you do that. Some of you can, but you don't, because of the fact that you're scared of them, because they caught you off guard. It's like a boogeyman. It scared you, so it's like, I don't want to deal with that person. Sometimes y'all could actually heal for this stuff very fast, but if you have family that don't understand it, or they not believing you, that's what keeps the trauma bond, the trauma lasting longer, because you feel alone. No different than, like I said, with raping. Sometimes people some people end up having kids through the process. And now you have to look at that child. The ones that do keep the child, you got to look at that child the rest of your life. And you have to look at the child knowing that child was created from a situation like that. Or you might have had a miscarriage, or you could have had an abortion. Now that's for the females. For the men get raped too as well. So when that happens, it's the fact that the masculinity is being ripped away from them. That testosterone is ripped from them, and it's hard to pull that back, because it made them to feel vulnerable. And it opened other doorways as well. When a female does it to a man, it also do the same thing. It makes a man, takes that strength away from them and make them feel vulnerable as well. And sometimes if you don't have a man figure around you to talk to, it makes you more withdrawal. And what I mean by withdrawal is pull back, where when you talk to females, you handle them differently, or you might get to the point you don't want to deal with a female because of what they done to you, and vice versa for a woman. So what else? What's another thing? Trauma. A parent that's on drugs or drinking, that too, because you're watching a person wither away in a way, even though they might not die from it, but the fact of something like that, watching a person go through those emotions and stuff, and it's a trigger. It's like you're looking at your childhood go away, or even being an adult, and you're dealing with a significant other that drinks real bad, and then sometimes you see them become abusive, because some people, when they drink, they become abusive. They can be physically, mentally, or emotionally abusive, one of the three, or all three. And when that happens, that's a trauma as well, because now, even if you are in a relationship or the situation, and you decide, you know what, I'm gonna move on, even if you move on, it puts a stigma in your head for the next person. So if you date somebody and you see them pick up a drink and they might take a sip, you automatically think about how that other person abused you, and now you're allowing that situation to affect you. So you project that energy onto the next one. Now, with everything I said, that goes on to all those other relationships. You project those energies on people because you have got to the point you can't trust a person. And when you lose trust, that is what gives the trauma more strength. Because in order to be able to get through trauma, you got to trust yourself and trust that, hey, I didn't do anything to cause this situation. Now, some people, you didn't do anything to cause that situation. So it's like, okay, I'm losing thought. My brain trying to jump somewhere. Let me hurry up and get off and go back. So okay, my brain is stopping. Give me a second, y'all. Okay, this is what's going on. My brain want to jump to something else. It's still in this situation. When it comes to a rape, right? When it comes to rape, there are times people can cause a situation to be triggered. And I know you're like, how can you trigger somebody? A person can should know to stop. Yes. However, I've seen situations before, and I'm gonna say this with females. Females do it a lot. Females will sit back and they will, I think I talked about this in a video a long time ago. I feel like I did, but we're gonna come back. Females do this a lot. So, say for example, you got a friend, or there's a guy that you know. And what you do is, you could be in a relationship or you're not in a relationship, but you're intrigued by this person. And so what happens is, I'm going to just put it like this, and you in a relationship. That's the best way. So say for example, you married or you're in a relationship with someone, but you're interested in their friend, or or a co-worker or something like that. But you're curious about this person. You're curious about a relationship with this person. So it's a build-up. So the build-up is, you will flirt with this person. You'll flirt with this friend on the side with nobody watching. You can flirt with your co-worker, and you keep flirting to the point that you giving mixed signals. You're giving these sexual signals to this person, letting them think that you want them sexually. Females do it a lot. More than you realize. And what they'll do is, they'll sit back, flirt with the person, do all these sexual gestures and sexual things, and to get this person turned on. And then what they'll do is, they will end up, say for example, a party is happening, right? There's a party, and the person will end up drinking. And the female will drink. But she knows what she's doing. She knows that she's drinking. She knows what her limit is. However, now she's really flirting with this guy. She's really doing these things. But what happens is she has buyer's remorse. Now she's in the room with the person, flirting with the person. The person is touching on them. And this person is taking their clothes off and doing all this stuff, and she's still involved. But what happens is, as soon as the transaction starts, she has buyer's remorse. And now it's called rape. And a lot of females do it. They'll go all the way to the end. As soon as the person actually, inject them, put himself in the situation, now they have buyer's remorse. Now they're thinking about the relationship they have and all this and that and their reputation and stuff. And then now in their head, it's like a chemical imbalance because they was drinking or they was on drugs or something. Now they're sitting back and saying, oh my God, no, I didn't say this, I didn't want this. And then later on, they'll hold out. Some of them will hold out and won't say anything, but 9 times out of 10, someone sees these two together. And now they change the story up. This person raped me. And it didn't even go down like that. So that person built a trauma. Now that is not an actual trauma. That's a pain. Okay, now I'm gonna get to the pains. That's a pain. That ain't a trauma, because you knew what you was doing. Okay, so this is the difference between trauma and pain. Pain is when you put yourself in a situation and you know it can hurt you if you do it, but you do it anyway. And you just, in your head, you calculating, is this going to hurt me really bad or a little bit? No different than if you want to go and rob a place. You already know that you might get caught, but you feel like, is it worth it? And in your head, you're like, yeah, it's worth it. You go and gamble some money or something, and you're like, is it worth it? Because I know once I gamble this money, if I lose this money, I lose this money on this bet, race, horse, whatever. Pains. Okay, where you mad at yourself for something you done. No different than the scenario I just said with the female. Pain. You trying to make it as a trauma because now you lying on someone, but it's a pain because you're mad at yourself that you allow yourself to put yourself in that situation, and then you projected that energy onto someone else, and now you are corrupting their reputation. But what you're doing is, in the corruption of their reputation, you're taking their trauma and putting it back on you to try to shield the pain that you're really going through. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So, pain is where there's levels to it. So, pain is no different than when you go to a doctor and they got from level 1 to level 10. With those pains go away faster. It's like a headache or something like that. Trauma is different. Trauma takes a little bit more time because you have to finally get out of your head, I can't stress the why or the how or the when or the where. You can't focus on any of those locations, those points. You're going to have to allow yourself to just say, I was minding my business, or I was doing what I was supposed to do, this happened, or this is not my pain, it's theirs. So it's projection. So when you go through a trauma, reason why people go through traumas is because someone else projected their pain onto them. So it's no different than when a parent leaves their child on, like a father end up having kids and he don't take care of his kids. That's his pain. He decided just to walk away. Okay, not all situations, but for just a generic, he's like, man, I don't like the girl, and that was like a one night stand, so they ain't my child. Okay, that's a pain, right? So that pain was reflected onto you, that caused trauma. That's the difference, and that's what made you grow up to be the person you are, because you held on to that trauma. So your life always automatically revolve around that trauma that you went through. Okay, until you allow yourself to forgive the person and forgive yourself in the situation. I know you're like, well, why I need to forgive myself? Because you're holding on to the pain that they put on you. So you got to forgive yourself to let go, because if you don't, you add more obstacles along the way. Okay, you add more obstacles along the way. So the faster you get through this process, the faster you can get through the obstacles. Then you won't have to go through all these bad relationships and these, having multiple kids out here in the world. Let's go for men and women. Being in situations where you can't, you trusting the wrong people. Alright. So that's the thing. So no different than like with the female that I said that had the pain. Alright. She made a bad decision. I'm not saying what she did was like, minimalize it. That's a horrible decision. But she projected her pain onto this person. How many times y'all see guys go to jail for years over somebody saying they were raped or something like that and they didn't do it? And now their whole career is gone, or majority of their life was ruined, because once something like that happens, that is something hard to clear up. You can be in one of those databases where you can't get jobs, or you can't work at certain place. You can't work at certain places, you can't live at certain places and stuff like that. That trauma. And I understand when someone lies on you, that's hard to ignore, because they put no obstacles in your life, and now they made it harder for you to get through. However, you just got to keep tackling them until you can prove your innocence. Okay? Just pray and things will work out. So when it comes to pain, you have to realize before you go out here and do something to someone, you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth what I'm doing? Because at the end of the day, yeah, this may not be a big deal to me. It might affect me a little bit, but what type of trauma can I put on somebody by the little bit I do? No different than being in a relationship and someone put their hands on you. Okay, the person that put their hand on you, they got the pain because somebody did something to them for them feel like they should do it to someone else. So now this female or this man is going through relationships where they scared every time somebody raise their hands, they think somebody's going to hit them. Or every time they hold a conversation, they scared to tell somebody how they feel because they scared somebody going to verbally attack them. Or they'll sit back and could be trying to hold a regular conversation, but they dial back their emotions because they scared somebody gonna make them feel stupid. You understand? And now when they have conversations with people, have you ever been around a person that they'll start a conversation and in the midst of the sentence they'll shut off? I used to do that. I got to the point I did it so much that people would look at me sideways. And what I mean by that was it became a trauma for me, because I got so used to when I hold conversation like I'm talking right now, out of nowhere someone would cut me off in the middle of my conversation and they'll start a whole conversation and I'm looking at them like I didn't even finish saying what I had to say. Okay, let me try again. Hold a conversation, cut me right off again. But that was their way to try to get me to not speak anymore. And that's what ended up happening. It got to a point that I would hold a conversation and be talking like this, and then that's how I got to that's why I started getting to the point I want to talk like that. Because I got so used to it. After a while, people be like, why you keep stopping? Because about around this time, somebody would cut me off when I'm talking. You did it again. Oh, my bad. Because every time when I hold a conversation, I try to tell people stuff. And we laughing and joking. I think everything fine. And then literally just like that. It literally got like that. It became a trauma for me because I got so used to being shut down over and over and over again. As soon as I try to pull my knowledge out and speak like I speak now, like if I would talk on dumb stuff, I could talk. But as soon as I start talking with intelligence, I get shut off. So I got like that, and then that's what happened to me. So once that happened, then I got to the point I wouldn't talk at all. I just sit there and listen. It's okay. You got anything? You got anything to say? Nope. You good? Why you ain't talking? I'm alright. Once in a while I might say, cause y'all gonna cut me off, so why anymore I'm gonna start. Yeah, so that's why I start getting quiet. And I stopped holding conversations with people. But it worked out in my favor though. You know, that's the thing about trauma, man. You gotta get over it. But you also gotta look at it at the same time. Yeah, it could be a horrible thing. But you also gotta look at the fact that, like, one, you're still alive. That's the main thing. Number two, what don't kill you make you stronger. You know, and number three, you know, now you know what to avoid. You know how to protect yourself. You know how to be mindful of your surroundings. You know how to make sure that you pay attention to details. If it's as kids, you know when you get older how to treat your kids, and to make sure when you're in a relationship with someone, you know, okay, I need to be with a man that's going to respect me and our kids. I need to know that this man values family and values kids, because I know that at least even if things may not work, we could be married and things may not work and we might split ways, but I know that he puts his kids first before he put anybody else first. You know, that's the thing. That's what, you know, we can learn from these things. If you've been raped before, like I said, pay attention to your surroundings and stuff. Be mindful of the type, pay attention to the signals. You saw how this person was, you know, around you and this and that, pay attention to signals. Now, if you was randomly walking somewhere, then be mindful where you walking at. Make sure when you out late or something, there's someone else with you. That type of thing. If you was a kid when these things happen, then be mindful when you get older and pay attention to the people that surround your kids, and make sure that if you see any weird stuff, that you like, okay, let me keep an eye on this, and you know, and talk to your child and say, hey, make sure you don't be sitting on no man's lap, okay? If a man sitting there hugging you, if they ain't family, you know, back away. If they are family and they getting a little too touchy, you better let me know something. You know, that type of thing. Because sometimes traumas can be transferred through family. And it's crazy because what happens is you're thinking about it. And if you keep thinking about it so much to the point you can manifest it into your future, where it can happen to your kids and stuff like that. So be mindful of the traumas you go through, because you can manifest those things to happen all over again. Okay, now that's called a trauma bond. Okay, or generational curse. You cursing your family. But with the pain, all I say is be mindful. Be mindful, man. If you're going through pain, let that mess go. Let that mess go. Forgive yourself. Be honest. Be truthful with what you done, and do what's right. Now, I'm going to say this. If you had somebody locked up for a crime they ain't commit, there ain't something that you can just get over overnight, because now that pain turns into trauma. Because now you taking someone's life away. You know, you taking their it's another way, their essence away. So that's something you're gonna have to forgive yourself. But I'm not sitting here saying, oh, pretend like it never happened. No, you need to be mindful. But just remember, karma is a mother sucker. Okay, so whenever any of these categories, if you was the abuser in these situations, karma is something. So be mindful. No different than if you was in a relationship and you was abused by a man or a woman. Females be hitting on men, and men be hitting on females. So this will help teach you to pay attention to those signs. Pay attention to narcissists, people that know, and manipulators. Excuse me. People that know how to play mind games. Pay attention. If you feel something, that if you talking to somebody and they start doing things that remind you of somebody else, and you get those signals like the red flags, walk away. Walk away. Don't get into that feel of, let me help heal them. No, they need to heal themselves. Okay? Because what happens is, when you're trying to help heal someone, they're gonna throw that trauma onto you. Okay, that's the other side of trauma bonding. They gonna throw that trauma on you, and they gonna project it onto you until they feel ready to accept the projections that they casted out. You don't want to get caught up in that. You can lose your time and your life on that, trying to help someone heal, because they'll misuse you and abuse you, and they'll make you the punching bag. No matter how it is, no matter what trauma the person was in, they'll make you the punching bag because you actually care. And what happens is the people that don't care about them is the ones that they give all the niceness to. So they'll go and project nice and happiness to the ones that don't care about them, and then the one that does care, they know you ain't going nowhere, and that's who the one get all the hits. That's the one that gets torn up, and then by the time you get torn up, that's when they start feeling better. And then guess what? They'll go to the next one. Yep. How many of y'all been in relationships where you dealt with a bunch of crap and crazy stuff, and then out of nowhere they go to someone else and treat them better, and you're like, but I was the one that was helping you. I was the one that was there for you, willingly. You went through all of these things, and I was there with you through this process, and you went to the next one healed. At that point, it ain't their fault, it's yours, because you saw them broken before you got into the relationship, but you thought you would heal them. You gotta realize you gotta give energy for them to have energy. If they weak and they can't move and they can't function the right way, and they going through a lot, you get drained. You get drained. And once you get drained, guess what? Now they healed, and now you stuck with those burdens, waiting for someone else to come and do the same thing to you. And guess what? You do the same thing to that person like that one did to you. And that's how people chain reactions happen. And I'm not saying you can't talk to a person, but you gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them. And what I mean by that is, stick with them and communicate, but as being in a relationship, no. Don't put yourself in a relationship with them, because now you are building a contract where they feel like they can do whatever they want to you. By being a friend, you letting them know, I'm here, but if you cross me and you act the fool, I'm gonna take some time back. And once I see you acting a little bit better on your own, where you took the information I gave you, and now you taking those strides to do a little better, when I see that, I'll come back. It ain't that I don't want to be your friend, and it ain't that I don't want to, be there for you. But if I'm your punching bag, then who gonna be mine? And I ain't about to put that energy on somebody else. So I'm not about to do double work. So hey, look, I got you, and I'm gonna be here for you. But once you start taking the energy of somebody else's issues that they done to you, and you put it on me, I can't help you. Because you ain't going to sit back and diss the help. Okay? I'm not your maid or your servant. I'm your friend. But once you diss me, I don't know you, and I don't know you, I'm going to back off. I'll send you a message to check. Hey, you doing alright? You good? As soon as you start flipping out, alright, bye. I ain't about to take that. As soon as I see you act the fool, alright, bye. I don't even need to read the rest of the message. Don't even care what you had to say. I'm happy you got it out of your system, because I don't care. I do care, but it's like this. You do care, but you care more about yourself in the situation, because guess what? At the end of the day, they can get up and go and be with somebody else. They can build a whole family. They can do whatever they want to do. And this is it could be the opposite sex. It could be a family member. It could be friends. It could be anything. It could be co-workers. But you got to remember one thing. Once your heart gone, then what? You got to make sure you protect your heart at the same time. So when it comes to pain, take that into consideration too. When it comes to people, when you do have people in your corner that's trying to help you get through that process, don't don't yell at them. You don't understand. You don't understand this. You don't understand it. I may not have to understand anything, but if I'm telling you you're gonna be okay, why you can't take that? You're alive. You're breathing. If I'm telling you everything's gonna be fine, why you can't take that energy? I'm providing you positivity. I'm giving you positive energy. I'm telling you everything is fine. So why you don't want to hold on to that, but you want to hold on to this other mess? You can't have you can't sit back and be in trauma and happy at the same time. You gotta let go one or the other. One or the other. Okay, one is pulling you back while the other one's pulling you forward. And when that happens, you are in contempt. You stuck. And you wondering why everybody around you moving around. You wonder why all your friends is having kids and having families. You wonder why other people getting, accolades and success and, with their schooling and this and that. Or they buying cars and they saving up money and stuff. Because you stuck. Because your daddy touched you or your mama didn't love you. Or, somebody raped you or something like that. And you stuck because you thinking you hurting that person been gone, that person been moved on, that person been, so they probably doing it to somebody else. Be honest, they ain't caring. How many times y'all see the villain walking around like nothing ever happened? Because as long as you stay in quiet mode, they won. As long as you ain't saying nothing, their pain levels don't hurt them. But once you start talking up, guess what? Now that pain level hits a little bit higher, and now they starting to understand the trauma you going through. Because now they scared that their life is about to be on the line, if somebody about to catch them, or they about to go to jail or something like that. Now they realizing what they did is wrong. And it's not so much, and sometimes some people just don't care. And there's going to be a few of those out here in the world that really don't care. There are people that will come at you their whole entire life and they already know death is at the door. And they cool with that. It's unfortunate, but there are a lot of people that will go to the depths. Right now, I have a couple that's doing that. Nothing ain't working, no spells working. But they still trying, and they already know that any spell, Nate spell, whatever, it can kill them. They don't care. They rather be killed anyway than go to jail. So they don't care. Now what? Do I supposed to sit back and be in misery the whole time that they about to die? So why do I supposed to be crying the rest of my life? Do I supposed to sit back and not enjoy the beauties and the great things that's in front of me? Do I supposed to hold on to the fact that if a person did certain things or been through certain things, do I supposed to be in a situation where I got to hold them, put them down? Along they did a healing, I did a healing, and along I did what I need to do, that's all that matters. If I don't get closure, that's cool. I don't need to see these people get locked up to say they getting locked up. I don't need to see these people in a grave to see that they going to a grave. I don't need to see these people going through like car accidents and health issues to see them to feel better. I feel good on my own. I feel great on my own. I don't need to see these things. And I've been seeing these things, but I don't care to watch it. A lot of these celebrities popping up with diseases now, heart attacks and different what was that? I saw the other one, cancer, different things. I saw a picture of two people that I saw death on both of their faces. Yes, because of my energy level now. Oh, I can see the like, yo, I'm seeing the demons on y'all faces now. I literally just saw two people and I saw they alive at this moment, but they ain't gonna be here much longer. I saw the death on it. It's crazy. You can see death on people's faces now. When you get to a high vibration, I know y'all like, I don't want to see that. Well, you gotta remember, when you at a high vibration, it doesn't affect you. You living a happy life. You're in heaven. You in a different world. You can see it, but it ain't affecting you. There's a lot of stuff that I'm seeing on these people's faces, and they thinking they fine and they thinking they getting over, and I'm sitting here like, boy, You don't see that dark cloud that's over your head. You don't see the demon that's on your face right now. You don't see the red stuff that's in your eye. It's crazy. It's a lot going on. You don't see that demon you sitting there talking to right now that got you in check. I'm gonna call it out. I'm sure call it out. The what is it? Tina knows. She did an interview with Gail, and Oprah was talking. That was not Oprah. That was not Oprah talking. And if you look at how Tina looked, Tina was scared to hold a conversation. Oprah, like this is Tina. Oprah like this at her. Like, okay, if this is Tina's face, Oprah like this. Like how that look like say something. Say something out like Oprah was doing more talking than Tina was. Yeah, those spirits are out here. And they putting everybody in check. Do I need to see it? Nope. They pop up. Some videos be popping up, but it's like it ain't. I don't care. I don't get victory off of seeing people hurt. I know sometimes I, act out a little bit, but it's that quick moment. It's like the victory moment, but I jump back out because it's like I really don't want to see people hurt. I don't want to see people have to go through traumas and stuff, and it's sad that people got to go through these things because they didn't recognize the pain level of what they was putting themselves into before they now have to go through the traumas. So my thing overall is, ask yourself, is it really worth it? Because times are different now. Trauma, like karma, is coming back way worse than what it was before. You thought the little stuff y'all saw with people before, nah, it's coming back heavy now. Because now you should know better. You knew better then, but you know better now. And I'm not saying that you can't, enjoy life and stuff, but just as fast as you can choose to be evil, choose to be good. Look at me. Look at the way I communicate, right? And I'm literally in heaven. Now, I'm in it, but I know right now you might be like, well, you ain't got all the luxuries. All of that's coming in. But I'm already in there. I'm thankful for the ground that I'm standing on. You understand the energy that I'm in. And I know you're like, well, how is that if you feeling this stuff? Because there's levels into heaven. There's different levels. I'm inside the door, okay? But because of who I am, there's levels of things that I have to do. There's the other tests I have to go through. Do I want to? Heck no, I'm tired. Shut. There's got 5 seconds. I gotta go to another goddamn test. Am I complaining? No, because it helped me to be better. It helps me to be a better person. So when y'all see me break down, I'm going through a test at that moment. I'm literally going through a test. So y'all literally get to watch me go through tests. When I talk about certain topics and stuff, and y'all see me break down and stuff, it's a test to see how I'm going to respond to that situation. So instead of running from it, I go through it. I allow myself to flow through the process and get to the other end of it. And some of my tests are mind games. Yes, they do manipulation mind games on me. The answer you would think is a yes answer, but it's really a no answer. Or you should pick this up, but you should put that down, or vice versa. It's like that type of thing. Like the moment you feel like you're supposed to trust someone else, you're supposed to trust yourself. And the moment you're supposed to trust yourself, you're supposed to trust someone else. It's literally that. Even when I do posts, sometimes I do these posts. This is a test on how I'm going to respond. There are plenty of times I post something up here and I got to delete the mess off. So if y'all see that I post something and you catch it and I delete it off, it ain't that I'm scared. It's the wrong energy. See, I have to be mindful of the energy I put out. I have to be mindful of the flow of things. Because when I do things, it could cause a ripple effect. So I have to be mindful which energy I'm utilizing, because sometimes when I get on that other energy and I get triggered, I can keep going. So I allow myself 1%. Sometimes the most are 2%. I haven't did one in about a couple of days, so y'all might get a 10% of one of these days now where you're gonna see me drop a lot of stuff. So I call it milk. Like I just, I'm spilling milk, okay? So I can wipe that up. It's small, I can wipe that up. But some days, I ain't gonna lie, when I see certain things, I be ready to clown y'all behinds. And I like my energy's flowing, boy. The way my wordplay is vicious, and it's getting worse in a good way. So all I just say, be mindful what you put up here, cause if you say something reckless, you might be next on the line. And I'm gonna take exactly everything you say and play it right back to you in a different way, and it's gonna be still facts. So all I know is, with that being said, I get it when you want to feel like you want to attack somebody, you want to say something to somebody. All I gotta say is, know when to hold it and know when to fold it. There's going to be times where you're going to have to stand up for yourself in a situation and say, hey, this happened, or hey, don't do this, or hey, this is how I feel. And sometimes you need to fall back so you can check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because you got to remember, hurt people hurt people. So before you say something, heal yourself. Do you know how to present yourself the right way? On that note, y'all have a blessed day.